Hello everyone, my name is Sam Abbasi and I will be showing you how to use this very simple React application using Algorand as well as the Algorand JavaScript SDK. So when you first start the application, there's two options here: create an account or generate an account and restore an account. I'll be showing this feature a little bit later, so let's just go ahead and generate an account. Great, so now our account is generated. Here you have your account component. You have the account address, the account balance, as well as an account mnemonic that can be saved off for later consumption. So if you add accounts here, it'll simply show up in sequential order. You can create accounts the same way we just did, generate random accounts, or you can restore an account. So let's actually restore an account. I have a previously generated account here that we can use, and it's pre-funded as well. Great, so now that has a balance. Now what we can do as well is let's go ahead and fund this account that we generated. So we'll go to a testnet explorer. I'm using bank.testnet.algorand.network. Remember, for blockchain development, it's always important to make sure you are in fact using a test network and talking to a test network. Let's go ahead and dispense this. Confirmation times in Algorand take a little bit less than 5 seconds. So let's just give it a couple seconds then here. Great. So now you can see our generated account is funded as well as our restored account, which was previously funded. So let's go ahead now and send a send a transaction. So let's send a transaction from account 1 to account 2. So here we can copy account 2's address, and let's actually go ahead and paste it here. And let's go back to account 1. Now, just going back to account 1 lets the app know that you want to send a transaction using account 1 as the from address. Let's go to our transactions page. Our transaction page, you'll see 3 different components here. One is the send transaction, and this is typically what you'd think of when sending blockchain transactions, in that when you click send, it will create, sign, and send a transaction off to the blockchain. Whereas if you click sign offline, it'll create and sign the transaction, but it will not actually broadcast it to the network. And the send offline transaction component you see here will take a previously signed transaction and will send that to the network. This just allows you to predict a certain block range at a certain time in the future, and then simply be able to input that for future transactions. So let's now input account 2's address. Let's send 1,000 micro algos, and let's just call this first transaction. Great, now we get a transaction ID, and we can check this in one of the block explorers. In this case, I'm using Goal Seeker. Let's again give it a couple more seconds to make sure. Great, now here is the transaction. The from address, the to address, the amount, and as well as the notes field here. There's also a multi-sig page where you can designate a recipient address, an amount of algos, again a notes field, and then here you can designate how many addresses you want as part of this multi-sig and what the threshold is as well. The final page I want to show you is how to opt in to receive an asset. So the way it works in Algorand is that if you want to receive an asset, you have to opt into it, which simply means that you send a transaction to the network, you send a transaction to yourself with a 0 amount, and that's basically telling Algorand that I am allowing other accounts to send me units of this asset ID into my account, into my balance record. So let's just pick a random, asset ID here. Let's go with this one. Let's put this here. Now we're opted in. So again, we get a transaction ID. We can check that on the Explorer. Perfect. Now we have, here you can see that account 1 sent the transaction to itself, and with a 0 amount, and it simply said, I want to receive asset ID 313348. And that is the React app.